My name is Shawn Brown, as I was introduced. I'm the Associate Director of NOCHE. First of all, I'm here to talk about internships. I'm going to tell you a lot about internships. In fact, there's three things I want you to know today, so this makes it easy. I find that when you're sitting in classrooms, if the professor or teacher tells you up front what they want you to know, that's a good clue. So there's three things. One, internships are great experiences that allow you to make an immediate impact on a company. The work that you do will make an immediate impact on a company as an intern. Two, you can start looking for internships now. This is not something for later. This is not something for after college. This is something you can start doing now. Three, innovation and entrepreneurship fuel the economy of Northeast Ohio and make Northeast Ohio competitive in the global economy. Those are the three things I'm going to talk about today. And just to give you a little bit about my background, I actually did 2 internships while I was in college. And as I was preparing for today's presentation, I was actually surprised because what I do today directly reflects what I did as an intern while I was in college. I did my first internship as a computer programmer. I actually worked for a small company in Twinsburg programming websites. And my second internship was completely different. I was an admission counselor at Hiram College, so I worked with high school students in their transition to college. And what's really interesting is today, I do a little bit of all of that. I work on websites, I work on developing an internship database that I'll talk about in a few minutes. I use computers a lot for analyzing data and making decisions. And I also do a lot of outreach with high school students and adults who have some college and no degree to get them back into college. So it turns out for me, my internship was really important to what I'm doing today. And it sets up some of the questions that you have. Suppose I'm thinking about going to college, I'm picking a major, and I'm trying to transition to a career. How do you do that? An internship is a great way to do that, so we'll talk about how that works. I thought it'd be helpful for you to know a little bit about me as I got started, just so you know that what I'm talking about today is something that I've lived and something that I've done. A little bit about NOCHE, just so you know who we are. We're a nonprofit organization. Our mission is very simple. We bring together business and higher education for economic advancement. It's a pretty simple mission. An illustration of how we do that is through a program called Neo-Intern, which is for internships. We promote internships in Northeast Ohio. So we'll help high school students and college students find internships and co-ops. We also help businesses start internship programs, especially small companies, and we have a special program for that. And we do a lot of work with a free database that you can go online and register and use at your convenience to find an internship. What I thought I would do to start is give you a few examples of students that we've worked with at NOCHE who've done internships in small company environments. And forgive me for using notes, but I want to make sure I get the names and internships correct as I'm talking to you about these. So as I said, we bring together business and higher education for internships, and we have a program called the Entrepreneurial Internship Program. And we work with the Burton D. Morgan Foundation and a lot of the other organizations that you've interacted with so far, including the colleges and universities, to create entrepreneurial experiences for college students. And we've been doing this for about 3 or 4 years. And I just went through this year's roster of students who did internships this summer. And I came up with a few that are interesting because these are college students, so they're only a few years older than you are, but they've had an extraordinary impact at their companies. Kiara Elkelberger was a process improvement intern at Improve Consulting. Improve Consulting does personal coaching, so if you're looking to advance in your career and you want a counselor to help you develop your skills and advance, that's what the company does. As an intern, Kiara created more efficient operations. Again, she was a process improvement intern. So her job was to come in, learn how the company did things, and then help that company do them better. And her work for one summer internship saves the company $12,000 a year, which is extraordinarily valuable. Here's another one. Steve Floro is an instruction/education intern at Funutation Tech Academy. Funutation does, they help children and young adults learn computer programming and how to use technology. And Steve's work, he created a course that is now offered through Funutation for other people to take. So he's actually created a course that's in use. Dan Lavely was an accounting intern at Consolidates. I think this might be one of my favorites. Consolidus is a company that does brand management, and they do a lot of promotional materials. The University of Akron is a big customer. As an accounting intern, Dan secured a better line of credit for that company. Essentially what he did is help that company raise a lot of money as a college student in that environment. And the last one is also a great example, is a software engineering intern, Joe Sewell at Preemptive Solutions, impressed his company with his skills so much that he received a job offer. He's still in college, but he has a job offer starting in January to work full-time through his internship. That kind of answers the question earlier about, do I go away and then try to come back, or do I try to set down roots where I want to be? You know, what we find is that companies use their internship programs to find people that they want to hire full-time afterwards. A lot of companies do that. So if you're thinking about an internship, think about a company where you might want to work long-term. Think about a place where you might want to work long-term. It would be to your advantage if you want to stay in Northeast Ohio to find an internship here, because it's very likely that if your internship goes well, that company will hire you on full-time. It's a great way to make a transition between what you're doing in college and then what you do full-time after college. It's a great way to do that. And these are 4 stories. We place 50 students a year, so I've got a lot of these stories, and we're not the only organization doing this, as you know, because you've been talking to some of them. There's quite a few organizations that do this. Now, what do they have in common? The companies and the students have 2 characteristics in common, and you can probably anticipate what they are, right? They're entrepreneurial and they're innovative. Innovation doesn't only come from new advances in technology. There's a resurgence in Northeast Ohio in manufacturing. And the resurgence is occurring because of innovation in the field, right? There's innovation occurring in manufacturing right now. So manufacturing is not all about heavy lifting and manual labor. To work for a manufacturing company now, you're probably an engineer, a designer, a computer programmer, because manufacturing now, the making of goods occurs with technology and robots and all of this. So manufacturing is big, but the jobs are different because of that innovation. And Northeast Ohio's economy is strong because we are innovating in manufacturing. And I think those are great examples of what it means to be innovative or entrepreneurial. My key message there is that it's new ideas. Companies run on new ideas and new ways of thinking. It's what you talked about at the beginning. It's the entrepreneurial mindset. It's thinking about problems and solving problems in new ways of thinking. That's really what you are preparing to do now in college and through internships, is that new way of thinking. How do you think about problems in new ways? How do you do that? Innovation and entrepreneurialism is very important to the economy. So then the question for you is, well, what do I do? What's next? And that's where internships enter. That's where you can make a real difference in your own experience and background in your education, plus for a company through doing an internship. So and what's interesting, we're actually doing research on this right now at NOCHE. We're trying to figure out why students do these internships, what they find valuable about the internships. And one of the things that we noticed, and it resonates with what you said this morning, interns really appreciate the opportunity to watch business leaders and entrepreneurs, watch them. How do they make decisions? How do they run their company? What do they do if they run into a challenge? How did they create their success, right? I mean, we're talking about entrepreneurism. It's creating a product, solving a problem, making money off of it. Well, how do they do that? And a great way to observe how people do that is to do an internship. Work with them. Go to a small company. Work with that small company. Watch what the leader does. Follow their lead, and you'll find that you'll have the capacity in the future to make decisions like they do, because they have essentially mentored you through that internship. That is, I think, one of the key pieces. The other piece, of course, is that you'll make a difference. Right? You don't have to wait until you're older to have success or to make your mark in a company or in a space. You'll do it right now. The examples I gave you are college students. They're people in college right now, right? They are a few years older than you are, and they're saving companies money, they're raising money for companies, they're developing new products, they're bringing those products to market. They're doing these things right now as college students. This is not something for later. And I really want to stress that for you, because this is not something that is pie in the sky, something that's out there. It's something that you can start doing right now through an internship. Work with these companies and do this. I wanted to share an example with you of one more example with you of a student that I'm working with to illustrate that point about making a big difference in learning from the people you're working for. We have a graduate student intern in our office, Casey Roach, who is working on a brand new website to help students just like you to think about colleges and careers. The website's called ohiomeanssuccess.org. You can actually use it now, it's public. The state of Ohio set forth a plan to create this website, and I've been told the state has been working on it for 10 years or longer, and they just have not been able to do it. Well, what we did at our organization, even though we're 60 years old, we took this entrepreneurial approach, and we really looked at how do we solve this problem and bring this to reality. And our intern had an opportunity to watch my executive director, who is a former state legislator and somebody who has been very entrepreneurial, bring about solutions to make this website possible, and then she did the work. She actually created this website that state legislators, state leaders, and others have been unable to do for 10 years or longer. She did the work. And she met the chancellor of the Ohio Board of Regents at our launch event. And now she has that experience put on her resume. She has that experience to talk about when she's looking for work. And so that is another example of how you make a big difference in an internship, but use it to make those connections later on. So then what's next? How do you find an internship? What are you looking to do there? This is that last key message about do it now. You can actually start today looking for an internship, or what some people call externships or job shadowing. There's no reason not to do that now, or do it this summer. Look for a company where they do something that you might want to do someday, and ask if you can do an internship or just shadow somebody at that company. Get yourself engaged with that company. Even a few hours a week can give you some great insight. So job shadowing could be good. You can do this through referrals. So ask your parents, ask your friends' parents, ask your friends, ask your teachers and guidance counselors. When you get to college, you can ask your college professor. Every college has a career center that you can go to. There's a lot of places to go for referrals, and referrals are really important. Ask me. I mean, you've met me now today. If you email me or call me and ask, I'm looking for a company that does this, I might be able to connect you with somebody. Look for referrals. Second, you can, when you get to college, as I mentioned, go to the Career Center. They're experts at this. That's what they do, is help students connect with businesses and jobs and internships. That should be one of the first places that you go. Of course, you can use online websites. Neo Intern is free, and it's available to any college student anywhere looking to do an internship in Northeast Ohio. There's Ohio Means Internships. It's another free website you can use to get these connections. And so there's a lot of opportunities to get connected. Start now and think about it when you get to college. A lot of internships occur after, say, the sophomore or junior year, but even as a first-year student at college, you can start thinking about this and planning for it. So talk to your professors about, I'm thinking about this major area of study. Do I need to do an internship, or how do I find an internship? This is not something you can wake up one morning, type in a Google search, marketing internship, and it pops up. You need to plan. You need to think about what you want to do. And if you are thinking about being entrepreneurial, think about our entrepreneurial internship program, because I think we can help you with that. You're also probably thinking about what's next after high school. And while I'm not talking about it today, I also run another program that encourages high school students to continue on to college for at least a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree. And so I would encourage you to think about that, think about college. And the great thing about being in Northeast Ohio is, you probably already know, I see you already have the entrepreneurial ecosystem poster on your wall. You're in a great place to study innovation and entrepreneurism. We have about 30 colleges and universities. Most of them have some kind of program established in entrepreneurial studies. And there's a few, and again, I noticed you've got Blackstone Launchpad materials here. There's a few schools that are already equipped to help you develop a new product and bring it to market as a college student. So this is not later. This is something you can start doing right now. Lorain County Community College, Baldwin-Wallace University, Kent State University, and Case Western Reserve University all have these Launchpad programs. But many colleges, whether it's a two-year community college, a private school where you're going to live on campus, a public university where you might commute, I mean, these are all great options and something that you can look for in terms of a good fit for yourself. So with that, I want to summarize by reminding you what I wanted to talk about and then see what your questions or conversation topics are. One is that innovation and entrepreneurism is really important to Northeast Ohio. It's really important in a competitive global economy. So what you're doing in this class is really important. You're getting yourself on that track. Two, internships are a great way to connect between college and what happens after college, or high school and what happens after high school. And you will make a difference. This is not make copies, get coffee. This is doing real substantive work and contributing big programs to your company. And there are national studies, and we've done studies in Northeast Ohio. The vast majority of the tasks assigned to interns are special project work. They are not clerical tasks. So you may find that maybe 5% of what you're asked to do is clerical as an intern. That's true that's true with almost all of our internships, and if we find out it's not true, we kick the company out of our system. Because they don't have the time or money to bring you in and give you menial tasks. I mean, nobody has time for that. And you can expect to do some clerical things in an internship. My organization, NOCHE, has 5 people. If I need copies made, I have to walk to the copier and make them myself, right? So everybody does some clerical tasks, and you can expect that in an internship, but vast majority of internships are really meaningful work where you'll learn something when you do the work.
We are going to be hearing a bell in about a minute.
Yes. Thank you so much. Oh, somebody asked me where I went to school. I went to Hiram College in Hiram, Ohio. I can speak very highly of the place. So not only was I a mission counselor there, but I also spent 4 years there. It's a wonderful, wonderful school. And I think you already heard from Kay Mulcantine, who's one of my colleagues there. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. Appreciate it.